Hello my YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a delicious chicken biryani recipe that I made in Ninja Speedy, and it's so easy to prepare. It takes literally just half an hour if we have got all the ingredients ready. So let's dive into the ingredient list, shall we? So for the base, I've got 3 large onions which I've finely chopped. See, these are the big Tesco ones. And then I've got 6 cloves of garlic, a finger-sized piece of ginger sliced, and 6 chilies. You can adjust the amount based on your spice tolerance. And I've got 2 tomatoes on hand. I rather prefer to use 2 tomatoes. It's just add some extra thickness to the gravy. Then there is some ghee. You can use butter as well if you prefer, and some curd, which is the Tesco Greek yogurt. I'll be using some cashews and raisins as well, although you can skip the raisins if you're not a fan. Don't forget the slice of lemon, which we'll use for later in the rice. Okay, so let's get started with this Ninja Speedy. First, set it to the air hob mode, flip it down to air fryer, and then select the saute options. It's all the way down just below the dehydrate and above the slow cooker. This will automatically set the temperature and the time, just like you would when you saute in a pan. Press the start button and it will automatically start heating. I've added 3 tablespoons of oil, and I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of ghee to this Ninja. I like using ghee because it gives the biryani a rich flavor, but you can go for butter if you prefer. And I don't want to use too much ghee because that makes you feel full. So once the oil is hot, I'm adding the raisins first. You will want to saute them until they turn golden and swell up. Don't forget to separate them so they heat up individually. It looks so nice as they swell and turn a golden color. Okay, once the raisins are ready, I'll take them out and set them aside. So now I'm adding the cashews to the hot oil. So just like the raisins, you need to saute them until they reach golden brown color. Keep an eye on them as they can burn very quickly. So you can actually take the raisins out once that's done and then add the cashews, unlike what I'm doing right now, because this is going to make it really difficult to take all the raisins out, because we cannot leave until the cashews get all roasted. So I missed that step here. So you can add the raisin first, take them out, and then add the cashews. So now that the raisins are out, concentrate on the cashews. But here's a trick. Make sure you flip each cashew so they are roasted on both sides. Keep an eye on them, guys, as they can burn really quickly. And once they are ready, I'll take them out as well. Okay, it looks very nice, and the cashews are all roasted well. It looks golden brown color. Let's take them out. This is how your raisins and your cashews look like. Okay, now I'm moving on to the onions. I'm adding half of the chopped onions to the same oil where I have roasted the raisin and cashews. The oil is already packed with the flavor, so the onions will soak it all in and add an extra layer of richness to the biryani. We're going to deep fry these onions. Since I'm trying to cut down on oil, I'm using just enough to keep them crispy. Okay everyone, here's a little secret. After sauteing the onions for a few minutes, I'll close the lid. This helps them fry faster by trapping the heat inside. It's a bright day today, but it's actually -1 degree outside. I just finished my night shift and thought I could make this cooking video for you guys. I work as a band 5 nurse in NHS here in UK. Looks like we are getting closer to getting the onions deep fried. They're turning to this amazing golden brown color once they're done. Add a pinch of salt to help speed up the frying process. This is something I always do, but you can tell me if you think it make any difference. I'm using the sea salt. Once the onions have deep fried, I'll take them out. And while you're taking the onions out, you need to strain out the oil. The onions should look golden and it should be crispy. Now set this aside and you can start cooking the rest of the onions for the chicken curry. You can add the remaining onions to the same oil that we're frying it for. You can see the rest of the onions from the previous one. It's still, a few bits are still there, but that's alright. It just adds more flavor. Again, I'm going to add some more salt to this onions to speed up the process. I'm using the Costco sea salt here. I prefer that because it doesn't make it very salty. This set of onion is that we are going to use for making the chicken gravy, so it doesn't have to be deep fried. You can just saute it and make it more tender. Quick apology here, folks. I forgot to turn the recording on, so I missed the step where I showed the chicken breasts added into the sauteed onion. But it's pretty simple. I sauteed the onions to a medium level and then added the chicken pieces to it. So that's when the magic happens, so no worries, we're back on track. Now that I've added the chicken breast, I'm going to add crushed garlic, ginger and chili. I prefer the crushing them over using paste for better flavor. So I would say once the chicken turns white, it's the right time to season it with ginger and garlic and chili. Now it's time to season it with salt. It's up to you guys how much you prefer to use the salt. I'm using 2 teaspoons of salt here. Just a normal salt. Just bear in mind that you have added some salt while you're sauteing the onions, so you have to adjust the salt accordingly. Next step is to add some tomatoes. So if you like more gravy, add 2 tomatoes. If you prefer less, 1 is enough. I prefer to have 2 because that gives you more gravy, and I really like gravy in chicken biryani. Okay, so while this is all happening, we're gonna get the rice ready. So I've taken 3 cups of basmati rice. I have used this measuring cup to take 3 cups of basmati rice. Next, I'm adding a teaspoon of yogurt to the chicken mixture. This step is optional, but I find it really enhances the flavor. Yogurt not only adds a lovely creaminess to the dish, but also helps balance the tanginess of the tomatoes. If you don't have tomatoes on hand, you can even replace them entirely with yogurt for a slightly different yet delicious taste. Give it a good stir to ensure everything is well combined. Now comes the star of the show, the masala. I'm keeping it simple and adding just 2 teaspoons of garam masala. Trust me, that's all you need to create the perfect flavor profile. No need of turmeric powder, chili powder or even biryani masala. The garam masala does all the heavy lifting. And remember, don't go overboard with it. Less is more when it comes to spices. Stir it well and let the aroma fill your kitchen. Coming up next is the magic touch, the crispy, deep-fried onions we prepared earlier. So these has been resting in the air, so now they are wonderfully crunchy. I'm going to take half of them, just half, and add them to our garam masala chicken gravy. And the rest will be saved for the garnishing later. Adding these crispy onions to the gravy take it to a whole new level. Seriously, it's like a flavor explosion. I can't even explain it, it just elevates the dish in the most delicious way. So in they go, and I'm mixing them in thoroughly to let their goodness infuse the gravy. And now the chicken is cooked perfectly, soft, tender and soaked up in all that rich, flavorful gravy. Everything is coming together beautifully, and I have to say the aroma in my kitchen right now is absolutely mouth-watering. It's one of those smells that instantly make you hungry. This is the perfect time to add water to the pot. I'm going to add 4.5 cups of water. Since I've taken 3 cups of basmati rice, the ratio is 1.5 cups of water for every cup of rice. So doing the math, that comes to 4.5 cups. This ensures that rice cooked perfectly, neither too dry nor too mushy. Okay, it's a time for adding the rice. I've washed the rice and I'm going to add all the rice into this mixture. Stir it all together, making sure that rice and the curry are evenly mixed. Now here's an important step. When you switch to the Speedy Meals mode, the heat comes from the top, and this can sometimes cause the top part of the rice to dry out or even burn if you don't use the tray. So the tray helps to evenly distribute the heat and prevents the rice from getting burned up. So use the tray, and you need to set the Speedy to the rapid cooking mode, and then use the Speedy Meals option. Don't forget the tray on the top of the rice, okay? Set the Speedy Meals option, and the temperature you need to set up to 200 degrees Celsius, and the time to 15 minutes. But even though you set the time to 15 minutes, keep an eye on the rice all the time. So make sure the rice is getting cooked properly, or you just need to make sure that rice is not overcooked as well. So it depends sometimes how much you add the water. So if you add too much water, it will cook more faster. So keep an eye, even though you set your timer, just open the lid once in a while and check the rice. So after 5 minutes, open the lid to check how it's doing. The rice should look half cooked. Just be careful while lifting the tray. It's very hot. Now it's time to add the finishing touches. I'm going to sprinkle the remaining deep fried onions over the rice. And next I'll toast the roasted cashews and golden raisins. They bring a lovely crunch and a hint of sweetness that perfectly balances the dishes. Gently spread them across the top so every bite of the delight will make soft textures and flavors. Now once that's done, close the lid again and leave it for another 5 to 10 minutes. Turn off the cooker. And there you have it, the perfect chicken biryani, ready in under 30 minutes time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to share. Your support means a lot to me as I continue to grow my small channel. Thank you for watching and happy cooking.